My name is Jay Sugarman, and I want to welcome you to Innovation Showcase. The main purpose of this ongoing series is to inform viewers about exciting innovations and creative individuals across the fields of business, science, technology, education, and the arts. Today, via Zoom, we're fortunate to have as our guest Alicia Rios. Alicia is a highly accomplished, award-winning animal portrait and lifestyle photographer based in Barcelona. During the program, Alicia will be sharing her extremely engaging and playful series entitled A Dog's Life, which captures the endearing portraits of a wide range of dogs alongside the objects that define them. In the process, we'll come to better understand and appreciate Alicia's exceptional craftsmanship and artistry. Let's start by meeting Alicia and then finding out and seeing why she was chosen as one of the 2024 Photographers of the Year by the very prestigious photography organization, 1839. Welcome, Alicia. So delighted you're able to be here.
Thank you so much for having me.
I've been admiring your work, eager to hear more about it and have you inform viewers. But before we jump right to that, I think it would be of interest if you'd just briefly share a little bit more about your background and your artistic professional interests.
Sure. I started photography as a hobby, and I think it comes from the inspiration from my father and my aunt, who are vivid photographers. And also my father recorded everything with both photography and video. And I guess I was raised just collecting memories, and that's how I started.
How have you grown and developed as a photographer over the years?
It was a bit of a casualty. It was never really planned, but I wanted to, I really like recording everything. So at a very young age, at 10 years old, I started journaling and making album photos of my own life, kind of a compilation. And then when I went into adolescence, I was traveling and I got my first point and shot camera to record my trips. And I was the one that always make photo albums and video compilations. And somehow when time passes, I decided, hey, let's get a better camera so I can get better pictures, more high quality. And one thing led to the other. And little by little, I started to take it more seriously.
Nice, nice. What would you say is the appeal to this medium for you?
I think that is that in just one look, you just can understand many, many things. In a novel, you have to read a lot, many pages to get to the story.
Hmm.
A photography, you just look at the image and it can evoke you so many feelings. And I think that's about the power of having so much emotion and feelings into just one single shot. It's
Yeah.
concise.
Before we enjoy the incredible series A Dog's Life, would you inform viewers just a little bit about the range of your work that you've done over your career so far? I know there's exhibitions throughout the world. You've worked with many companies. Can you just share a little bit about that, about your career?
100%. So when I moved to Amsterdam, I got my first semi-professional camera, and I was photographing about everything and anything just to get to know the camera. And I'm a self-taught photographer, so it's like, well, I'm gonna read the manual. I'm just gonna try it out. And little by little, I started to just understanding and taking better photos. But the day that changed everything was the day that I wasn't employed. So I was just out there. It was like the crisis of 2010. So like, okay, let's put all my energy into photography. And it snowed here in the region where I live, which is very unusual. And I took my camera and I stumbled upon an abandoned house. And I always loved, since I'm a kid, to see what people have in their houses. So I just sneak into it. It was completely abandoned. It was pretty much empty. But the fact that I saw portraits, newspapers, even invoices from many years ago. It just gave me an incredible feeling of, wow, I'm inside somebody's life, somebody that abandoned his life. How is that even possible? There are portraits of them here. This is so intimate. I'm sneaking into their lives without permission. Why they don't care about this? I'm caring so much. And I said, I want to know this. I want to feel this feeling more often. So is when I started to look for more abandoned places, and through internet, I discovered the urbex exploration, or urban exploration, or urbex, which is basically documenting places that have been, abandoned.
Huh.
And that is how I started to develop my own voice and my own style. So I participated in a contest and I won. And that somehow propelled my career. I got that external validation that my work was worth being shared with people. It was an amazing, like, instead of 1 year exhibition, it turned into 2 years because it was very, people really liked it and people felt a lot with my images. Then I moved to California, and in that time, I mean, United States, it's pretty new. I couldn't find abandoned places. So how I started pivoting into animal photography. And that's how I started developing my own style. But with that emotion and that somehow elevation of the dogs, with that, I don't know how to say it, but I always liked Tim Burton because he's able to capture this part of that. It's equal romantic, but it's equal spooky.
Yeah.
So I took that eerie feeling from my abandoned photography, pull it into the animal portraits. And that's how everything started to work for me in that realm of animal photography.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Well, picking up on that, what inspired, and before we enjoy some of the work of a dog's life, what inspired this project? What did you have in mind? And then we'll hear how you went about it.
It inspired because at that moment it was before maybe the very early days, yes, of Instagram. And it was the time where maybe influencers were being born, where they would just set up all their things on a bed or on the floor, all the clothing, all the accessories, and take a overhead shot. And with one shot, you understood what was that about. You could understand, okay, this person is going on holidays and this is, her choices. Oh, this is a photographer. This is all his gear. Fantastic. And I like order and I like things to be arranged nicely. And that was beautifully appealing. So I thought, wouldn't that be fun now that I'm doing all these portraits of dogs, just to put that dogs and this kind of thing together? But I had this idea roaming in my mind for 2 years before I decided to do it, because studio photography it's not my strength. I'm a lifestyle. I work with natural light. I like to keep things very minimal. I'm also self-taught, so I was like, studio photography, that looks so complicated, so expensive. But I was sharing the idea with people, and the feedback was, you have to do it. This is genius. This is so much fun. Imagine this and that. Like, so one day, as a New Year's resolution, I said, that's where I'm going to put my focus. If somebody else does that before me, I will regret it the rest of my life. I have to do it. That is my idea. So I did it.
Great. Well, let's start sharing some of these examples so viewers can really appreciate what you've shared so far. And the first one we're going to see is just, I mean, they're all so incredible. And this one you labeled the neurotic. A little bit about how you find the dogs and the whole process that's involved would be fascinating to hear, please.
Yes. I mean, and just so you know, if you want to go deep into the whole creative process, there is a specific blog post on my website that I explain everything for anybody to learn from it, because I think that's very interesting to understand the behind the scenes. But for this dog, or in all the dogs, I post a Facebook note, an ad on Facebook, say, hey, I'm looking for dog owners. I'm doing this project. I can pay you, but you'll get free photos in exchange. So people start applying. But I had a very clear idea of the portraits. So this is something that I had to do because I always find that dogs that are destroyers and chewers deserve a place in this planet. I know that can drive people crazy, but when you look at it, it just makes their personality so charming. And, it was, I would say that maybe it's my favorite portrait and I love it so much. And the day that I found a book, like here it says, How to Live with a Neurotic Dog. Yeah, this is amazing. That is the exact accessory that I need. So I put it, and for the rest of the objects, I had volunteer dog owners that say, hey, I have a chewer dog. Oh. So I was bringing objects to different houses for their dogs to chew it. And then I would pick up the objects a week later or 2 weeks later. And these are the results. Some of them are for real. For example, the panties, the underwear, that is something that the owner say, hey, my dog loves my panties. He chews them. Some shoes are for real. They were chewed, from a real dog because that dog was a real chewer and loved shoes. Others were, kind of forced, but overall, dogs did it. Different dogs participated.
The Joe's O's is so creative. What a fabulous artifact there. I mean, it's amazing. I'm just noticing now the remote control.
Yes, that is real. Even how you call it, the thing that you put in your mouth. That is very expensive.
The mouthpiece.
Yes, these are expensive.
The guard, yeah.
Exactly, the nut guard. But yeah, the owner one morning found out that the dog got it and chewed it, and she was very upset. So I said, please don't throw it away. Give it to me. Give it to me.
Oh, the newspaper. I mean, got to spend much more time really looking carefully. But for now, let's leave. It's hard to, but let's leave the neurotic and find another fantastic example of your work, the senior.
Magda. You know what's funny? This dog, a girl came with 2 dogs. And the first dog, it was a pug, but she was so old that she couldn't even stay like still. She was falling. We tried to prop the dog with pillows and toys, but it wasn't working. She was so old and weak. So I said, it's not working. Hey, do you have another dog? And she said, yes, I have this dog. And I said, this is perfect. Look at her skin. That you can see that she's very senior and she's been through so much. So Magda, love her. And what you see, that's her reality, is a dog that spent most of her days at hospital, taking tests, getting vaccines and medication. She's been through so much, poor thing. That is her life.
It's incredible. And I see the service dog tag. It's almost like she could use her own service dog.
100%. I never thought it that way, but now that you say, like, yeah, probably.
But the other items there, it's brilliant to come up with this.
I had lots of fun. Yeah, and I'm asking for people, hey, does anybody have X-rays of their dogs? I need X-rays. So that you can see that this is a dog leg or something. So some people had them and they were given to me, which I really appreciated.
Nice. Well, let's move on and enjoy the princess.
Well,
how did you come up? How were you fortunate to meet the princess?
I mean, I lived in LA, so that was so easy to come up with the idea because that is the reality of all dogs. Go to Beverly Hills, go to Hollywood, even Santa Monica. You see crazy things and how people humanize their dogs.
Yeah.
And all the stores, I mean, these are things that you don't see here in Barcelona or in Spain. Maybe now they start, but honestly, you have incredible stores, like high-end stores for dogs. So Lola Rose, that is portraying Princess, had to be here because that is the reality of LA dogs.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and the items like the perfume. Oh, this is
Of course.
fantastic.
And the
Fantastic.
Pada purse.
Yeah, yeah. It's great. It's great. The special treats, the bones. Wow.
Yeah, and the shoes, because you see dogs with their shoes.
Do you have any techniques or have you developed them over time of working with animals, especially in this case, dogs, to try to get the best portraits you can?
I would say that all my life I've been surrounded by dogs. I volunteer for years with dog shelters. And actually, that's how I put the pet photography together because I was taking pictures of dogs in a better way for them to be adopted.
Ah,
Because the pictures from the shelters were very bad illuminated. They were very sad. And I said, hey, it's hard to adopt this dog with this picture. Let's do something more uplifting and that brings joy, that shows the best of them. And I started taking pictures, and all the dogs that I photographed got adopted faster, maybe in a month. So that was a game changer. And I understood at the end of the day that dogs have emotions, and you need a lot of patience to just get them to
sure.
know you and feel comfortable. It's a partnership, and it's about being patient and compassionate towards them. Then you can make them do almost whatever you want because they want to please you. And honestly, they are the best. So, but in this case, in this scenario, that I rented a studio, I had people that I was paying. I hired an animal handler that helped me to take the dogs, put them on stage, make the noises,
Uh-huh.
and when the dog would jump off, go and take her because I had to be still. So I had somebody very professional helping me out that day.
Nice, nice. Well, we're going to move on to see the best in show. Who do we have here?
That is Zeke, and that was the hardest one to photograph.
Hmm.
I almost thought that we could not make it. And what you see here is a bunch of composite. There was not a single photo that worked.
Ah,
And so either the hair, the head, I mean, it was, now you see it here, but it took a lot of work because this beautiful creature, I think it was rescued. And in fact, he did a lot of shows,
hmm.
but something along the way happened, and it was super scare of people, lights, anything. And my idea was to have the hair being blown like this. So at some moment, I said, hey, just let's turn on the hair dryer. So as soon as the dog comes in, we can just have the hair shot at least. And somehow that kind of calmed him down.
Hmm.
And that allowed us to, okay, let's take a few pictures. I mean, I think maybe I took 100 of them, but maybe 4 or 5 were worth or work. And then on Photoshop, I had to recreate my vision. And that's what I had in mind. And finally, I got the shot. But this one was a real piece of work.
Oh, it's so appealing. And again, the artifacts are just brilliant. I love the trophy. So many items there to admire and to match up. And you you say to yourself as a viewer, oh yeah, that could only be for the best in show dog. That is just a
Mhm.
perfect fit. It's not going to work for the princess or the neurotic, but
No.
best of show, there we have it. Um, we have two more that we definitely want to enjoy, and this one is the fetcher.
Yes.
This one,
That
see these items quite a bit in our local dog park for sure.
Yes. And this dog is a border collie. So definitely they are super smart, love to fetch stuff, and they like to be engaged very often. So I thought this is what his life looks like, a bunch of things to fetch from different sizes, different colors, because his life is about competing and chasing things that move. And this dog was super easy to photograph because this dog belonged to the animal handler, which is also a dog trainer. So she set him on the apple box. I took 2 photos and that was it. Maybe I took
Yeah.
a few more because I wanted the tongue hanging on the side to give you the crazy obsessed look. And I got it. It was fantastic.
It's wonderful, and the coloring is just
Yes.
exquisite.
Yeah.
Oh, and the eyes, I mean, the shot is amazing that you created
Yeah.
there.
Thank you. I'm
Has
happy to
this
be one.
project changed the way you see dogs at all?
No, I think I've always seen them the same way. Just beautiful, very simple creatures in the sense that the thing that they want the most is just to be fed and be loved.
I'm
Anything
curious.
extra is extra. It's
I'm
something.
curious.
So yeah,
Do you happen to have a dog yourself now?
I do. You want to see him?
Oh, be great, please.
Okay, then hang in there. I'm gonna go fetch him.
Oh, thank you.
Can you see him? Hi.
Oh, yeah. Oh, how long have you had him?
12 years now.
Oh, wow.
He's
Wow.
rescued in a shelter in Santa Monica.
Wonderful, wonderful. Have you done a similar portrait with items for him?
No, he has
No.
one toy only.
Well,
And no,
thank you for sharing. It's
sure.
wonderful. And the last one want to hear about is the
Oh,
stray.
ah, that's stray. The funniest part was to have all this food rotten in my garage for real. Which my husband said, "Why are you doing this? Like, it has to be real. So let's buy a bunch of stuff and let it rot in our garage. Why not? Because no, it wouldn't be in my apartment." So um, that is one of the big realities for many dogs, that they are born in the street or they end up in the streets because people don't want to take care of them anymore, and they have to survive, and they have to go be scavengers. And that is the reality for this one, which actually, look at his face.
Mm.
It was indeed from a dog shelter,
Yeah.
but his look and the way they look at you, it's like perfect. This is his life. He just gets
Oh,
wherever he can.
for sure, for sure. Um, what was the most challenging part of creating this series?
The series or this photo?
The series.
I think there were 2 parts that were complicated. The first one was to the creative part, and then there is the production part. The creative part, because I had to, and that's on my website too, for anyone that wants to see my Excels and all the pieces that I put together. But it was about creating the personas. What dogs, how many, so I had a bunch of breeds. Then I was describing their life, their owners, what a day in their lives looked like, what do they buy for them. And then I had some breeds and some ideas, but then I could not find a breed available, or nobody had the breed. So then I had to look for another dog that was available, but also was a reflection of my vision, and then get people to be available for the shooting. So there were, one thing is whatever you have in your mind, and the other thing is what you can make at the end of the
Mhm.
day. And on the production side, I think the most complicated part was for me to get the right arrangement for the objects. And also on my website, in that blog post, there is a lot of videos of me trying different things on my living room.
Mm.
Because one thing that I always felt that photographers don't show. Photographers win prizes, they have these series, but they don't tell you how they got there. And I said, I'm going to tell you exactly how much I spent, how did I do it, how every single detail, so you can appreciate the work there is behind one image.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's what it's about. So these are the two components that were the hardest for me.
No, I really appreciate that part of your online presence. Learned a lot in preparation for our conversation. Alicia, what advice would you give to someone aspiring to be a pet photographer?
If that's what you like, go for it. Honestly, for me, there's no better advice. If that brings you joy and if you
Mm,
are ambitious, go do it. Because the way I started was me asking for random people at coffee shops with dogs, hey, I'm building my portfolio. Can I take pictures of your dog for free in exchange for keeping them on my website? And if you would see my first photos with what I do now, there is an abysm. I mean, there is a big gap. There, now I would say like, those photos, but that's how I got started. So one step at a time, go for it. You never know where it's gonna take you, but if you have fun doing it, go do it.
yeah. Well, you're definitely an incredible example of taking that advice and going with it from your earlier description at the beginning of the program of how you got interested in photography. Now that a dog's life's complete, what's some of your current or future projects that you have in mind?
I have to say that I feel that this doc series is not complete.
Oh, great.
Ah, I always had one in my head that I could not execute, which is the hunter.
Ah,
And I wanted to have a very specific breed with a bunch of, some dead rabbits, birds, a rifle, um, you know, portray the life of a dog that hunts in the woods, that it's out of the city. Just that's what they do as a tool for the humans. But I could not make it happen. Having, finding weapons and dead animals for reals. I didn't want to have something fake or plastic. It was not possible. So that's something that is stuck in my heart. Like, I always feel that that photo is missing because it's in my head. But I have other ideas in mind that don't involve dogs. I have a series in my mind, but that I think is the next level of complication to get the assets and
mhm.
permissions and accessories and models. Maybe one day. If not, I did this, and that's for me a big accomplishment, and I'm happy I did it.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, for viewers to keep in touch and to follow your work, we'll be listing in the credits your website, your Instagram, so people can enjoy previous work and what's to come, which we're definitely looking forward to seeing. But for now, Alicia, unfortunately, we've come to the end of the program. I want to thank you so much for being here. It's been so much fun, fascinating. You're a true craftsperson, and thank you for sharing your artistry.
Well, thanks you for your interest in my work.
And continued success with all your future endeavors.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Also want to thank those of you watching for joining us and hope you'll be able to tune in next time.